Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers, and it happens again. If you have Challengers at the end of your team, you are expected to at least lose one game to Team Fish Taco, right, Alex?
That's just how it goes. It's the rule. We don't make the rules, we just follow them here. That's how it goes, and we've already got the one, but now is it the two? That's going to be the big question here for Team Fish Taco, because looking at that game, they did exactly what we wanted to see from them. They attacked early game. They utilized the priority from their skirmishes in their top side. It worked out well. They got early leads. Sure, they fumbled the bag a little bit in the mid game, but not nearly enough to drop it fully.
And, you know, I do want to pull up a specific play from that game because I do think this was a little bit of a decision maker for this one. More specifically, because prior towards this play, EG had a chance to pinch on Team Fish Taco, but they only managed a 1-for-1, and they lost Soul, who had a solid laning phase. After that, there's no stopping Lunasia and Rosethorn, Josh.
Yeah, and our Turo key drive of the day, we already get to see Lunasia having a fantastic return in Week 3, right? We had questions about whether or not he was going to be playing at the level that we knew he could in spring, and already coming out in our first game of the day and showcasing that he is still a force to be reckoned with, really shutting down any opportunity for Evil Genies as challengers to come back.
What a play made for Arturo key drive. You know, shout out to Lunasia and Rosethorn. We were talking about Rosethorn. Oh, Nat. Well, there's another
I thought you were
solo
going to say
laner
shout out
that
to
Rosethorn can
Turo.
work
Yeah,
with.
shout out Turo.
Shout out Turo
They're
as
helping
well,
all of our
course.
teams.
Of course,
And
they're
you can
helping our
too.
squads. Tell them how, Josh.
Tell them how. Make sure you sub to both LCS_Challengers and Path to LCS. We have different kinds of emotes on both streams. We are already getting close to the new month. So remember, you can sub every single month in order to help out all the teams. And make sure you get all the Poggers emotes on the stream.
All right, the shilling is done. It's time to move on to the Rally Cry halftime show, which this one is going to be called League of Lore and Love. I got the best names. I like it. It flows off the tongue after all. This is going to be a basic trivia game over a lot of the lore that comes around the region of Runeterra, as I would like to call it right there. Is the best way to frame it? The region of Runeterra? Yeah. It was weird to put it any other way. What do you got?
The world of
No,
Runeterra.
Runeterra is the continent.
Yeah.
Right? The whole
So I
world's
would
called Valoran.
You thinking, Alex? Okay,
I thought they changed that.
Unless they redid it. That's how I remember.
I think that's how it used to be. I thought they retconned that.
Well, you know what? Where it is not the focus. It's the trivia that we want to get to. So let's pull up our first question now. And the question I'm going to ask you both is, what are the names of Nami's lovers featured in the Legends of Runeterra?
I didn't even know there
Penguin
was one.
and Papadilla. There you go. Penguin and Papadilla. That's my guess.
Let's see. I went to a Japanese Italian fusion restaurant yesterday. So I'm just going to guess the dishes that we got there in carbonara and mentaiko.
Well, the answer is, as I go ahead and reveal it onto the screen just now, it is Loto in Tama, or the Abyssal Guard in Murai Songstress.
Never would have got that.
Yeah, there you go.
Josh, can we just both agree? Both our names, our selections were better than that.
Wait, what were their names again, Eric?
There are Loto and Tama.
Ours are better.
Tama's kind of like carbonara.
No one's getting a point yet, man. Is this going to be a 0-point game? Is that what we're going to have?
Probably.
All right, let's
if it's old lore, if you brought back the old lore, I'm a school all of you. I paid attention to that through and through. Bring back the reason why it's the Clash of the League of Legends, right? They're on the Summoner's Rift because you're summoning them, and it's all about stopping wars and stuff
Alex,
like that.
I don't care about the old lore. What I care about is the trivia questions I have right here, and here comes the next one. Which skin line were Leona and Diana a couple in before they were fully canonized in the main timeline as past lovers?
Say that again?
What skin line were Leona and Diana a couple in before they were fully canonized in the main timeline?
Was it the Eclipse skin line?
I think it was the... I was about to say, I feel like it's the Eclipse one.
That both your final answers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, we are having no dings today.
Oh, no.
It is the Battle Queen skin, which
Oh.
does actually come with its own lore.
Okay.
I forgot those exist.
Yeah, in this, Leona actually, I believe, gave some ceremonial armor over to Diana. So it's interesting to see how the alternate universes work here.
Yeah, wait, is there also a Battle Queen Leona skin? Because that looks like a Battle Queen Diana.
I don't think there is.
What? I feel lied to.
I know she's in the lore,
ripped.
though.
I feel ripped off. You said there were skins for Leona and Diana.
Hey, it's an alternate universe.
No.
It's an alternate universe.
I demand a point for each me and Josh because we got ripped off here.
Which skin line they were coupling? It didn't say Leona had one.
Diana.
You know what, Cynthia? Put a negative point on Mad Magical right now.
Let's
We're
go,
moving on to the
winning.
next.
Josh, I tried to help you.
Yeah, this is no
question.
collective bargaining here.
Coming in, Show Me / Drop Border, a non-binary follower of the Legends of Runeterra, is associated with which champion's crew / which region?
Can you repeat the question really
Yeah,
quick?
repeat the question.
Show Me / Drop Border, a non-binary follower from Legends of Runeterra, is associated with which champion's crew / region?
I'm going to guess
think it's Silas.
Misfortune.
Oh, you're going with that.
I'm going to guess with
You know
Fortune
what? You
and
guys
Bilgewater.
need help. You guys need help. I'm gonna help you out here. I'm gonna show you the card, and now I'm gonna let you guess.
Oh,
what?
That's
I'm
gonna
gonna go
be
with Echo.
Jinx. Oh yeah, no, you're
Ding,
right.
ding, ding! We got one!
Let's go!
There you go. Nicely done. There you go.
There you go. See, when you
There we
said
go.
drop border, my first thing was like, is that a like walk the plank reference?
Yeah.
And then you said crew, because the others were like
Yeah.
pirates. I got it.
Well, also Silas has a crew of like, so that's why I was thinking maybe Silas.
There you go. There we go. We're on the board.
Hey,
we're
we're a
winning,
crew
and
too.
not just because Magical's losing.
All right, let's move on to the next question because this is a fun one, especially if
one.
you actually
All
pay
right.
attention to some of the voice lines of our champions.
I
What
don't.
nickname does Set call Phelios in the Spirit Blossom universe?
What nickname?
Yes.
The
I'm gonna guess.
Plum King.
Having skipped over that lore, I'm gonna guess that it is Moondrop.
Alex, you got anything?
The Sugar Plum King. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, Josh, you're rewarded half a point.
Woo!
You're now at 1.5 because it's not Moondrop, it is Moon Cake. Here's the line itself, actually.
Aw.
Still up by tonight, Mooncake.
All right, I want more negative
cute.
points. I'm just gonna try to rack up more negative points.
that
That's my goal here because I'm
That's
gonna
pretty
lose
good.
this regardless. So I might as well get the. I might as well lose by the most. Yeah, that's my goal now. I'm just gonna lose by the most.
gotta upset Eric a little bit more, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
You know, I just got the
just give me a
moon
sec.
because it's like, that's Affiliates' whole thing. He is the
Yeah.
moon.
Alex, you're not winning. Josh is taking this whether you get the next question right or
I
not.
know. That's
but
why you think I'm just taking it. I'm just
I
going
am
for the
going-
negatives.
I'm going to show you an emote. This is our last
It
question
doesn't.
right now.
You know what? I'm gonna just guess
Here's
right
an
now.
emote coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good.
What iconic movie does this emote reference?
One. Reference is a
It's
movie?
from a movie.
Yeah, reference is a movie.
I'm going to go with Brokeback Mountain.
Ding, ding, ding!
Yeah, let's go.
Like that's got to be the only one I could think of too. I'm like, the thing is, it was so obvious. I was like, it's got to be something not obvious then if he's choosing this one, and that's the problem. This is the difference between my quiz and a bad quiz. Because my quizzes, I try to actually trick you. I try to actually like get in your head. He's just like, I'm gonna give you easy ones. It's boring. It's you just read the lore, read the book.
Alex, you're
guys.
using up my time. I want to throw in one more question. What's the common ship name for Caitlyn and Vi that originated as an in-game buff?
Originated as an in-game buff?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, I should know this one. But I don't want to answer it correctly because that also means that I won't have my negative
It's such an
point.
easy one. If you guess this, you could
Cupcakes.
probably get it. What?
What?
In-game buff? What?
In-game buff.
Caitlyn and Vi?
Piltover Enforcers?
So close. You get a half a point, Josh. You're
Okay.
at 3 now. It is Piltover's finest, and that is going to do it for
So I
the
didn't want to.
League
I didn't want to answer
of
it
Lore
correctly
and
because
Love.
then I'd lose my negative point. And I want my negative point.
Woo!
Congratulations
negative half a
for
point.
having 3 points and winning by a lead of 4. Another shout out to Team Fish Taco playing in this match because they do have those very, very cute pride stickers they made, which feature their mascot. And so,
There they are.
It's so adorable, man. 100%
I need the
of the
asexual one.
proceeds.
That's the one I need.
100% of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project, including a 50% match coming out from Team Fish Taco. And yeah, if you want to support Pride, this is a good way to do it. We love that one of our teams is doing it. I mean, I'm personally gonna buy myself a whole set. You know, I've always bought a lot of their merch. I bought their shirts. Now I gotta buy the stickers.
Yeah.
It keeps coming, man. It keeps coming. But we got our next match that is now waiting in the wings. So, Magical, you know what? Go away, Josh. You won. You go ahead and take it away.
Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and buy a whole set of those stickers and put the first one on Eric's forehead. As soon as
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah. An 8 head, he says. He's got more of that coming through. Well, at the very least, we can spam the 5 heads in chat if you are subbed to the Path to LCS stream. But as we get into our second game of the day here, Alex, we did see Evil Geniuses stumble relatively early on, and Rosethorn yet again coming out on top. He is rapidly becoming the Invade King of the Challengers League. He has been going into the opposing jungle more times than any other jungler, and coming out with bigger leads than anyone else.
I feel like that game was a little different from what we'd expect from an Evil Geniuses game where they fall behind early, because Soul, you're doing a good job in the top lane. Sure, the level 1 was difficult, as it should be. The Olaf is always going to be one of the most broken champions at level 1. And so the fact that you're able to bounce back from that as Soul into the game where you looked really good going into the fights, but the rest of the map was falling apart. I know you're oohing because Rosethorn getting that Kindred, that's a big owie right there. And Ahri is still open for Onat. So unless EGC want to draft that right now, that's probably going to be taken in the next round.
Yeah, we can also expect that Team Fish Taco, when they get this Kindred, they almost always will pair it with a Gragas as well. And they have shown that they can flex it between the mid lane and the top lane, which is a huge boon to Team Fish Taco now that you don't know exactly where it's going to be going, because it fills very different roles on the map. But it is going to be Ryoma looking to hover over this Ahri, and also going to be King taking the Aphelios.
I think you just have to take it because we know Onat's going to take it. Even if the Gragas is something they do pair more often with Kindred, it's just, it's Onat's Ahri. It's so good.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a Gragas pick to very likely come out here, but it is going to be an Annie pickup. Now, this has been the character that I have been, let's say, medium convinced of Onat being able to play it, right? We have seen that he can go absolutely off, but also we've seen so many times where the Tibbers just lands a little bit short, and then you get the hashtag no nation in those positions. But this is an opportunity where they can look fantastic yet again. We are going to be seeing Evil Geniuses. They do have a lot of tools to be aggressive in some of these fights. You have to be very careful going up against something like the Kindred, because all of the bursts that you're trying to throw out can be nullified all at once. And now, smoothly picking up the Milio for themselves, even on 13-12.
Yeah, I don't feel like Milio is gone out of the meta.
Milio's fine.
It's just he's not as busted as he was. He's still perfectly fine into a lot of matchups, especially. So grabbing that here and then banning away that Blitzcrank, I think is the good call out. Take away that, maybe even ban that Nautilus. Another thing that NXI has like to play outside of that Recon.
Yeah. And it is going to be something that NXI will very likely not have access to, and we are already seeing Evil Geniuses trying to pinch NXI's champion pool. We have seen NXI pull out the Blitzcrank in the past, and it was okay. But this is going to be one of the opportunities to try and limit that champion pool even further. Now, the other thing that Team Fish Taco is trying to do is Ahri has a couple of champions that you really pair it with all the time. You have to buy the Wukong have already been taken off the table, and those are the ones that just have some of the easiest point-and-click crowd control. And now it's going to be off the table.
Taking the Rel instead, going for that ban out of EGC. Not wanting NXI to play that. But like I said, that Nautilus, still something that does really well into Milio. Could be taken. All right, I think it's kind of one of those skill matchups between the two. It's really about how you play with the soccer ball compared to how you play with the dredge line. But I know you're oohing about this. It's not really a shade in champion. That's the only thing
why I was going,
with the Ivern. Like,
right?
Seeing that hovered, even if he's really strong on the patch right now, and I was actually talking with Rusty when I was over in Macau. We were talking about, we were talking about the different build paths you could go with Ivern and how you can really utilize the power of Daisy. Just throw Daisy into the fight. Go press the attack if you really want to. And I was even theory crafting saying, what if Hail of Blades works with Daisy, right? And you just go for the boom, 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 boom. Auto attack really quick.
I've heard that called a couple of different things that I'm not allowed to repeat on broadcast throughout history, but it is definitely something where you can be very aggressive with the Ivern just being a range champion that has Daisy to basically be your tank for you. And now we're going to be seeing Lunacia going over to the Olaf once again. And as we take a look at these two compositions, there's definitely a lot more tools from Team Fish Taco to get fights started, whereas on Evil Genius's Challengers, I mean, you're looking at Charms, you're looking at Roots coming out from Ivern, and that's about it. Soul, the last time we've seen him play a champion that had big engage tools on the Malphite, and I remember 4 times that he used his ultimate on the champion. 2 of them were backwards, one of them hit only a Jax, and one of them missed entirely. This is not an engage champ.
That is a Garen locked in with Ivern. Oh my god. All right, Josh. What do you got for me?
Not convinced at all of this Garen thing coming through.
Not with the Ivern?
Nope. It is okay in conjunction with the Ivern, but the problem is this champion is looking to scale, and you have an Evil Genius's Challengers composition that yet again is almost entirely conceding a lot of the mid-game power spikes, right? Garen's a champion that comes out around 3 items. Aphila is really power spiked around those 3 items as well. The only character that's really strong between level 6 and 13 is Ahri, and that also happens to be when Annie is at their strongest. Team Fish Taco are once again set up to play their exact same style that they've won so many of their games on.
That is true. You got a good point on that one, and especially because you have Rosethorn on Kindred, one of the best performing champions that we have for Rosethorn here in the summer split that we've been seeing. That's why I picked up the clips earlier, right? There's the early plays, playing around Onat, getting those early stacks off of APA, getting them that game victory over Team Liquid Challengers. And here, they got game 1. They could take 2 games off a Challengers squad right now. They've got that locked in, but Soul with the Garen top lane, Jaden playing a new look in this more supportive Ivern. Like you said, they are more scaling on EGC. Kind of similar to what we saw last game. You just got to get there.
I also want to point out that in spring, the way that Evil Geniuses, when Ryoma did come back to take over his spot from Robbie Bob, the way that Evil Geniuses was winning games at that point was when Shaden was playing the Sejuani and would camp the crap out of mid lane, right? Consistently coming mid to make sure that Ryoma would have a lead. And this is something that you can do on the Ivern. But the big question, right? Rosethorn has invaded every single time he's played this Kindred, and it's going to be on Shaden to try and take a path that will not allow Rosethorn to take over the game. But it looks like they're already setting up for a level 1 invade.
You know what I also like about the Ivern and Ahri interaction? Most of the times, outside of when inside of a minion wave stack, if you land that root as Ivern, you're nearly always going to be set up for a charm afterwards with Ahri. It's one of those combinations you don't kind of think about, but looking at this early invade, utilizing that power that you were talking about, Josh, the fact that you have this Olaf up against Garen, what can you do if you're Soul?
Not a whole lot, right? Garen at level 1.
Shaden, 2, Ivern. Yeah. You're going to do a whole lot of nothing.
Whole lot of nothing, and already. Now, the big question is they will have a good idea that this red has already been taken away, and Shaden actually just going right over towards the top side of the map. He will get spotted out, and Rosethorn is going to be very happy with that.
Yeah, interesting there from Shaden. Maybe hoping that he could get at least the Raptor Camp Smite away.
Yeah.
You have to expect that that's what's happening with the Kindred, right? You're expecting that it's the gank. He does have all the setup in the bot lane, so he will be able to just quickly grab all these camps, just pop, pop, pop.
It's also not the way to optimize this path coming through. We actually saw it in LCS recently. The way you optimize that path as Ivern is you throw the Q at Wolves, use the Blast Cone. You throw the Q at Blue. Use the Blast Cone to get to Wolves. Pick up Wolves, and then use your Q to get over towards the blue buff. And Shaden a little bit less optimized coming through, but trying to find an opportunity to contest Rosethorn's buffs.
Trying to steal away that red buff from Rosethorn.
Everyone's coming.
Some power, though. But like you said, everyone's coming. It is going to be EGC first on the rotation, though. Bot lane, King and Smoothie getting a little bit of that advantage over Spawn and NXI. Power of having the double range bot lane makes it a little bit easier for Shaden to bounce back, not lose out anything really on the map, because it has been nearly equated. He's even on top of Raptors.
Yeah.
Gonna be a little bit of damage, though. Bot lane just kind of a trade. Smoothie
trade.
Taking the worst end of that trade, but he does have some pots and biscuits, so he should be fine.
I'm also consistently looking at the mini-map to see how Rose, Thorn, and Shaden actually move around the map. As the first... Oh!
Get him,
Ghost.
Soul! Get him, Soul! He popped the Ghost! You flashed away!
Wow.
Soul! Nice trade!
Wow, I mean, we have been seeing that Lunacia has not been living up to the same kind of solo kills that we saw in spring. It's already going to flash out from Soul as a big win here for the Garen. At the same time, look at Rosethorn continuously trying to find Shaden as they are moving around. It should... Oh, there's not a smite here for Shaden. He can't even pick up the...
But that's why they're calling down Soul. They're just calling him down, saying, hey, defend this one so the timer window can work out, because Lunacia, no flash, no ghost, wave crashing towards him, can't rotate down, so it is going to be Shaden, even without smite, securing the crab.
Yeah. Just lots of trading back and forth kind of across the map. And we actually have been seeing Soul doing a good job up here in the top lane in terms of winning the health trades, but so far has been down a decent amount in the CS department. Also, Rose.
Well, that's a fat minion wave stack right there. It should be nearly equated.
It won't quite be, as we see another hook landing.
Really taking a lot of damage. Not that much damage. Gonna get the double root though from King. Big thing is gonna be this top lane as Soul. You took a little bit too much damage. Nice shield there from Shaden. Will keep Garen alive. Not respecting this Olaf and Kindred combination and how much power they can provide. Even looking at Rosethorn right now, they're trying to cut off this wave, get on top of Soul. First blood picked up. Why are you pathing over there, guys? You just gave them over a free kill, as now they can just rinse and repeat, because what can an Ivern do to stop an Olaf and Kindred from diving you?
Yeah, and there you go down. Here's Ryoma. It's not done.
That's going to be the big thing. Ryoma showing up with flash in will make it overall a trade of 2 for 2.
2 for 2, but look at all the minions that Soul is losing. This is not how I was expecting the lead for Lunacia to be built up. At the same time, Ryoma will be getting it in the middle of the map. Onat now just able to free hit and farm that all on their own. Team Fish Taco, even though they don't necessarily go up in kills, get a lot of extra gold off of that interaction.
Exactly. The fact that Soul has to go mid lane just to get some waves, and now bot lane have a bit of a skirmish between the two, constantly rumbling back and forth between the bot lane of EGC and Team Fish Taco. But neither of them really getting the edge on one another. Just try to see if they can force out some of these summoners. And like you said, there is smite there for Shaden, so he's able to smite away the Raptors and not lose out on that first mark over for Rosethorn.
Yeah, but it is worth noting, as something gets cut.
So the nice soccer ball kick, though.
Okay.
That is one of the nice interactions there. You're like, I got the hook. Soccer ball.
Aha. But it is worth noting, though, that this is the first time that Rosethorn on the Kindred is not starting off the game with an incredible lead, right? Even though they go for this dive to make sure that Soul cannot get back in the lane. And even though Rosethorn goes down with the extended dive in this position, Rosethorn has had some phenomenal early starts on this Kindred. This is nowhere near as powerful as some of the fights that we have seen so far, but Rosethorn doing A-okay on this Kindred once again. It has been an absolute terror in a lot of the games that they have played throughout the course of summer.
Well, the fact that you do get that first mark for Rosethorn off of Shaden, since you had that stacked on him, going to help out a little bit, especially because we do see that Ivern is a great champion to have against a Kindred. So hard to counter invade, but now Ryoma flashed on with the Timbers. Onat forcing out that Spirit Rush from Ryoma. That is kind of the interaction, though, between the Ahri and Annie mid lane. You get the stun, get a bit of a trade, Spirit Rush away.
Yeah, I mean, good stuff coming out from Onat, though, that will be forcing Ryoma to look for a back. And we saw that Ryoma's moving towards the top lane to try and create some pressure there. Look at this.
That's a huge minion wave you're losing out for Soul. Because he can't go nearby. He saw Rosethorn, and now 5? He's using his ghost just to get to the wave, because otherwise he's going to lose out on all that experience. And then Rosethorn's like, hey, Garen's here. Hello. You don't have flash. Where are you going, buddy? Come back. You're not getting out of this one. You're chased down. Solo kill for Lunacia.
Oh, God, that entire wave just gone. That's like 3 waves right there that are crashing all at the same time. Just a little bit of investment of Rosethorn up in the top side of the map. And now Team Fish Taco will be in a prime position to pick up not only this crab, but also the big brother as well in the Rift Herald. Wow, Evil Geniuses just kind of falling apart on the top half, unfortunately. After some of the plays that we were seeing coming through from Evil Geniuses, we were getting some hope that maybe Ryoma and Shaden could take this one over. But now, we were saying that the only real way we've seen them have good games is when Seoul has been able to stand up on their own, and Team Fish Taco is doing everything to make sure he sits down.
The big thing, it kind of devolves to that one play when they're level 4, right? They path back towards the turret when it was very telegraphed that Rosethorn and Lunacia were trying to punish Soul as he was trying to path back towards his turret. Had they just retreated fully there, I think Soul's in a far better position. And the fact that he didn't means that he has now got no shot getting into this game. There's not going to be scaling for a long time for your Garen.
Yep, Rosethorn got to dodge a charm here.
Slow down though. That's the thing. Ivern and Ari combo. I love it. It's so easy to line up that CC and the charm as well. So Onat gets the stun onto Ryoma. But should have that charm coming up very soon. Waiting it out. Getting the knockup from Daisy. And that's going to be a killing spree for Ryoma.
And we said these were the two that really needed to pop off together. Fighting a third kill here for Ryoma and allowing Evil Geniuses to move their jungler into the opposing side of the jungle. Bit of a turnaround for what we were saying. We're saying Rosethorn was the king of invades, but Daisy just too strong. Now King starts.
Looking for this play in the bot lane, getting a lot of damage there on an NXI. They wanted to punish that Nautilus while he was only level 5 before he can fight back with the depth charge, but back to the top lane. I feel like Soul, you're just about to die. You're doing your damnedest. I know you're trying, Soul. I appreciate it. I respect you for it, but get out of top lane.
Oh my gosh, Lunacia does not have a ton of mana to play with, but he's got so much HP.
He lands one undertow, he's dead.
Yeah, Soul has to be very careful. He does have the Garen passive to heal up, a fair amount, but oh, it's such a scary position. It's still double CS already. 2 extra levels, and Rosethorn starting up with the Dragon on the far side of the map. Does Lunacia go for the dive? I definitely do.
Oh, I do too. Oh, misses the undertow. Ooh. Never mind. You waited out. Waited. There you go. Now you go for it. Spin to win. Spin to win. Wait a minute, Soul. Nicely done. Survives that one. And he can wait. Can he wait it out? No, you can't wait it out. Nah, you can't wait it out. Okay. You got your Q. You're healing up a little bit with the passive. There's no mana on the Olaf, and that is your saving grace.
Yeah, I mean, the flash trade as well as denying a couple minions is totally okay for Lunacia. And, ooh, not waiting in the bush to try and find an opportunity. Soul still really struggling on this Garen, and look at the movement.
The charm there. Not going to get the soccer ball to connect, though. Can't layer up that CC on top of Onat, but Onat got a bit of damage back on Ryoma for his worries. All right, Josh.
Shaden coming through. Finds Rosethorn.
I think the big thing right now for EG is that they are playing around this mid lane. They're trying to utilize that. Ryoma in the top lane to help out a little bit, but that was a nice land versus fight coming in from Rosethorn.
Everyone's here, Smoothie's here.
With Daisy trying to get the damage. Look how low the members of Team Fish Taco are. But NXI, huge depth charge. Ryoma shut down, but they almost got it. They couldn't pick up the kill for Soul. 2 dead on EGC.
Oh my god, it looked like classic Evil Geniuses coming through. Ryoma, Shaden working together, but it ends up being Team Fish Taco taking them down and beating them with experience at this point. Team Fish Taco, I mean, they bring everybody here. They are so good at going for so many of these chaotic team fights where there's not clear battle lines. And NXI at the very end, the big difference maker, right? Comes in and locks down Ryoma after all the abilities have been used.
Oh, Ryoma screwed his whole team there. No!
Yeah, a brutal position where everybody trying to do something. And Soul tries to turn it right back around, but the damage just not quite enough to pick up the counter kill. And Team Fish Taco already starting to snowball a lead.
Yeah, the fact that Ryoma flashed back towards his whole team and allowed a 4-man knockup from that depth charge, I think that's the defining moment of that fight, unfortunately, for EGC, because if you're able to kite that one back, sure, you need Ryoma to survive because that is where your gold lead was. And now we can see that the gold lead is for Lunacia. He's got quite a large gold lead over everybody and the chase potential he has.
Where's the E?
Soul underneath the turret. Okay, wait it out. Undertow connects. Spin to win does nothing. As another solo bolo for Lunacia in the top lane. But mid lane, we have a little bit of a skirmish as they pull back and shade in. And they look for the charm on the other side, but Rosethorn was able to dash away. So more plays working out early for Team Fish Taco.
It just feels as though Team Fish Taco are mechanically outplaying Evil Geniuses everywhere, and that was not something we were expecting to say, right? Normally, when we looked at this team at the very beginning of the year, we were saying it was going to be about Spawn, but it's Rosethorn, Onet, and Lunacia stepping up this series in order to control everything. Rosethorn has hit the Trinity Force, being faster than 13 minutes. We are seeing even more control as Lunacia topples the top lane turret almost entirely by himself.
I think that's also a big thing that we were wondering going into this. When we looked at FlyFam, it was all Lunacia, right? The solo kill king of spring. We were wondering, how do you come into this season? How do you look in summer? At first, it was a little shaky from Lunacia, but I feel like from weeks 1 to 2 and now to 3, we have been seeing him get that confidence back within himself after the promotion tournament where he didn't have the best showing.
Yeah, and confidence has been so much for a lot of these players coming through, and now NXI trying to find some of his own confidence.
Hex flash back. That's not how you use a Hex Flash. It's always Hex Flash forward, but didn't want to look for that play. Noticed that there was a lot of EGC members on the bottom half of the map, and I like this from Soul because you're never going to be able to fight Lunacia. Not for another... Oh, God, what timer do you want to put on that, Josh? I'm thinking 45. You're going 30. I was going 40.
Garen scales pretty well. Garen scales pretty well, and the ultimate is really good.
Look how far behind he is. That's my biggest problem. But right now, Jaden is going to take the depth charge, but he's in the brush, and Ryoma's on the other side. Speed away,
the hook.
But Ryoma body blocked the hook for them so they can dash back and survive.
Wow, and then they get another hook.
Rosethorn taking a lot of damage, and guess who's here? It's King, but the Land's Respite comes out from Rosethorn as the members of EGC are not on top of it, so they don't get the heal, but they get a lot of Warmahog shields, so they can get a shutdown for King. Oh, not the next target. He goes gold. Will spawn on the other side. Where are the hooks? Where are the spears? No arrow connects, so it's a double kill for King.
It feels like every single time Team Fish Taco is taking fight with the same number of members are coming out on top, but Evil Genius is doing a fantastic job making sure that does not happen. King gotta run.
King, you don't want to be there. Flashed away, but with 4 members there, even with Lunacia, he's rooted up and he had to flash away from the play because he realized that there was no friendlies around.
Trying to be a little bit too fancy. Team Fish Taco give up a lot of tools, but they're the ones with the tempo on the map afterwards to go for the dragon. And now Team Fish Taco, you get to see, right, a couple of funny things happen here, right? Firstly, that one. The first hook knocks NXI back, and the second hook coming out from NXI catches Ryoma in transit.
It kind of works, though, because then Ryoma dashes over the wall, and nobody on his team is actually in danger.
Yeah. Honestly, just like landing all of these charms and all of these roots consistently coming out from Evil Geniuses is a huge difference maker. Onat with no ultimate, no mana left to take the rest of this fight, ends up putting themselves way too far forward with no spells to actually throw, no damage to capitalize on NXI's hook of King at the end. And of course, Team Fish Taco Spawn coming around the side, the guy we were expecting to be the major player for this team, this split, not able to find anything there either. But they're still walking away at 3,000 gold. They got the second dragon of the game. We cannot understate how big of a lead Lunacia has in this game. The rest of the map is somewhat even, right? Onat is probably furthest behind Ryoma in favor of Evil Geniuses, but it's not as though Onat is irrelevant in this game, right? He's still playing the Annie. He still has the stun for guaranteed damage.
Yeah, and I think that's really when we look at EGC right now. How they win the fights is as long as Lunacia is not there, they have a chance.
Yeah. That's going to be the big thing, right? This is something that Team Fish Taco has been doing this entire split. They will give up side waves in order to make sure that their top laner is there, that their mid laner is there for the fights. And it is an opportunity potentially for Soul to split push his way back into relevance, but it's going to be a while, right? We said, okay, 3 items, like maybe 30 minutes. The ultimate is really, really good in the head-to-head for
You are so optimistic because it's 17 minutes and he just got his mythic.
You know, I believe in Soul. Kind of.
Look, I love Alex. Great name as well, because Alex.
That's just conceited.
But I'm just going to say right now, this game's not looking pretty.
You just like Alex because he shares your name.
Yes, I do, 100%.
At least we're consistent about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to everyone about that. I'm gonna be honest.
Yep.
But also, right now we're seeing that he's struggling into most of these matchups. But Annie, same level as him. Probably one of the few people he actually can go toe to toe when you look at the gold. He's nearly even with Onat. It's all Lunacia. 9,000 gold that he has. That's 2,000 over the next person, Ryoma, who's 3-1-2 on Ahri. It's not like he's having a bad game on Ahri.
Oh, yeah. And that's going to be one of the big things, right? The two Oceanic players in Ryoma and King coming through in this game, trying to find opportunities to carry it back. And we have seen that they did sync up quite well already in one of our previous fights. But as we were kind of talking about, right, Aphelios needs a lot more time to continue scaling into this one. This is going to be the biggest moment for Ryoma. This is where Ahri is at their strongest relative to other members on the field. And so they pick up this top lane turret, giving a little bit more money over to both of these players that will give them some freedom to try and make these picks happen.
They might get another charge there from Shelly as well. That's going to be a nice net positive for EGC, so long as they can retreat the play afterwards. Charm connecting on an NXI as Onat was able to get that 3-man Tibbers, but nobody follows up any damage further. It's shaded on the other side as Ryoma wanted to get the kill on Onat, but he had to flash away from the fight. They will actually take the full turret as well. 2 turrets picked up by EGC without losing a single member.
That's a lot of money going right on over. Team Fish Taco, they will answer with at least one in the mid lane, and Soul might even pick up a 3rd turret on the bottom side of the map.
Swing there for EGC.
That's a lot of extra play coming through, and we are already seeing something you were calling out, the difficulty with which they are trying to deal with the Ahri.
Uh-oh. But Ryoma,
no
greedy
mana
there. No mana. That's just going to be a nice play, capitalizing on Ryoma staying way too long in lane.
I believe a 4th mark also going over to Rosethorn, who now has that extra range coming through. And Alex, I think the big moment for this game likely to be happening in about a minute. Team Fish Taco have a small gold lead, and there is a dragon spawning at that time as well. Ryoma needs to be strong enough to go for a lot of these fights. They have the McHales coming through from Shane to keep them alive. Hello.
Rosethorn is going to be spotted by Smoothie. It's a little bit of aggro. Not really too deterred, but like talking about that dragon spawning up soon. Team Fish Taco, they've gotten the first 2. Hex Tech Soul wouldn't be too bad to have on an Olaf when you already are running Static Shiv on spawn as well to clear out these minion waves. That's the ultimate chase down perspective if you're Team Fish Taco.
Yeah, and the extra slow that comes from the Hextech Dragon as well, so big for trying to corral the members of Evil Geniuses. But now, 2 items coming through for King. Better 2 items for Aphelios than it oftentimes is for the Tristana, so they will be doing a lot of damage, but Ryoma is the one that you really need to be looking at. He has a ton of extra effective HP because he has Shade in his back pocket. Soul, gonna get pinched by this Garrett.
No, I like this. Soul. They're spotting Rosethorn, and that's really his big target.
Flash.
But look at the damage!
Nice flash.
Lunacia! He's here, and he is winning this one. Triple kill, but Soul ghosting his way out of that one. This is what we talked about, Josh. If Lunacia is a part of a fight, you lose, EGC.
Everything going big for Team Fish Taco in this one, right? Onat with a massive stun. Yeah, perfect position coming through for Lunacia. Now they're going to be getting the Dragon and also going to go for the Baron. Let's take a look at this, right? We see Ryoma trying to go for the big play, but everybody funneling through into the middle of the fight. And the Ravenous Hydra does so much damage here for Lunacia. They chase everyone down. You only have 1 Mikhail's Crucible in order to try and save anybody in this fight. They try to use it on King, but his flash does not buy him enough space.
Not one bit. Not when there's a raging Olaf on the other side that can chase you down. With the Turo Baron buff now on Team Fish Taco, it's looking like a faster game than we saw in Game 1 here for Taco.
Yeah. There's going to be one last hurrah coming out for Evil Geniuses, right? They have one more fight in them as the Turo Baron buff is picked up here for Team Fish Taco. They're going to be creating a lot of pressure. The one problem that Team Fish Taco has is they don't have a ton of super easy wave push, right? Their split pushing is not the fastest in the world. You are relying on Lunacia creating pressure in a side lane, then Spawn can move around with Onat in order to create combined pressure once you actually get through the turrets. But it can take a little while because Onat will have to dump a lot of spells in order to try and make these fights happen.
Looks like Soul's going to fight with Lunacia all the while. Team Fish Taco, the Turo Baron buff mid lane, toppling one structure pretty easily. Expecting them to try to siege down that second one as well, as they want to crack one of these inhibitor turrets. Nothing really else on the map to play for, unless you want to chase Soul, who's just on this wild journey.
honestly, respect at this point, right? Like, Soul
wait,
needs to find opportunities to
he's
push
just going.
this.
Oh, he's going top.
Yeah,
The minion
exactly.
wave. Okay, that's gonna force at least someone to have to answer him. They
Yeah.
only have TP out of ONAT, so for EGC, that feels like their power right now has
Ooh.
been from their macro, and now with these members trying to go for the play on the other side, Rosethorn is
Charm?
the one they want to capitalize on. Charm's not going to connect, but they have a lot of damage onto the Kindred. Look at Spawn, though, and Lunacia. The moment they show up, they tuck tail and run. EGC cannot fight, not when they have to worry about Lunacia, but they do get the root on him to deny that. With the TP coming in from ONAT, they will scare away EGC back into their base.
But still, even as they go for that, that stifles a lot of the Turbo Baron buff that Team Fishtaka were trying to use. And look at this, there's still somebody uncontested in the top
he
lane.
didn't leave. And the TP's been used. That could be their YOLO play
Charm?
here. The Charm connecting, the flash away from Spawn. And when Lunacia is not there, that is your one way to fight. He takes down the turret and you lose out on Ari, but you don't have any damage at the moment. Waiting for Soul to crack that inhibitor. Well, it's going to be the Turbo Baron buff mid lane play for Team Fishtaka, getting themselves the turret in mid, then in bot as well.
This is always the gamble you make when you go for these big split pushes. Is the rest of your team going to be able to stand up while you go for the split? Can you go unmatched? And now Team Fishtaka, they get what they came for. With the Turbo Baron buff, they get one, and with a root missing,
Look at
What are you
Soul.
going for?
Soul's been on quite the journey. He has been really exploring Summoner's Rift because he's actually here on the bottom half of the map and he's got a flank on to Team Fishtaka if they want to go for it. But Jaden's taking a lot of damage and forced to flash away. And that's a flash coming in from Onat. TP in as well. But Lunacia's here. And that's the one that you really have to deal with. And if you can't stop the Viking from rampaging, what can you do, EGC? You run again. It's all Lunacia in this game too.
another double kill coming out for the Viking. Team Fishtaka, they brilliantly find a spot where Lunacia cannot, or Soul cannot find the kills that they need to. Lunacia in a perfect flank position, and with the Turbo Baron buff, they find their second inhibitor, and they can back away for the dragon.
Nice charm on Rosethorn. We'll take him pretty low. There's still going to be 10 seconds left until King's up. And Soul, hello, you're doing it again. Where are you going, my friend? I don't even know.
I'm going on an adventure. He's the Hobbit at this point. Bilbo Baggins trying to find their way around Rosethorn, finding their 7th mark of the game. And that's going to be giving them that second range increase, getting the top wave pushing as well. Everybody from Team Fishtaka going to be ready to play for this upcoming Hexed Hex Soul. And it's such a tough spot for Evil Geniuses to try and play around this. They have to move everybody towards the top half of the map. They got to scrounge every little bit of gold they can. King not on 3 items. Ryoma, with the power spikes that they had, were shut down by the members of Team Fishtaka.
And the fact that Lunacia is on 4 items on this Olaf at the moment, that is going to be very scary to deal with. And look at Soul, this journey that you're on. Now you're actually going against some combatants here, as that's a death charge onto the Garen with the Corrupting Chains as well. And Onat, he's getting in on the action as well.
Wow, and Team Fishtaka, like, they don't even go over towards the dragon. They're just like, well, this guy's been annoying. Let's go ahead and deal with that before we do anything else. And they're uncontested up here in the top half of the map. Evil Geniuses do not have the time to go over and hit the dragon. And it's even a question of if they have enough time to come
Lunacia
back.
has a Dark Seal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he has a Dark Seal. He's that far ahead. He just wants to get the stacks at this point. They get the charm, but Ryoma already forced to dash away, dashing back in.
Oh.
But he's pulled back in by the hook. Even with the warm hugs and breath of life, it might be enough to help him out. Donut got charmed, and he has to use the rocket belt away. The Flames Respect healing up the members of Team Fishtaka. All 5 members still standing, but taking a beating in the base.
Yeah, and with all of these inhibitors down, there's still plenty of time for Team Fishtaka to back away. There is a Hextech Soul waiting for them. In 40 seconds, there's going to be a Baron to play for as well. There are some cool moves coming out from Evil Geniuses to try and find their way back into the game. A lot of crazy things happening from Soul in order to pull the members of Team Fishtaka around the map. And it looks like this might be all she wrote, as the Hextech Soul is going to be going over Team Fishtaka.
Uncontested as well. EGC, they can't do anything. Even with Bilbo Baggins here on the map, venturing out yonder, looking for his own Ring of Power. Feels like that Ring of Power, we already know where that is. It's in the Dark Lord's hand of Lunacia.
Yeah, I feel like Lunacia's got to be the one. They got the Magi Soul Sealer. Like, that's the Arkenstone at this point. Gotta take that guy down, because he's done so much damage for this squad. And Team Fishtaka also lining up at this point for the Baron buff. And there's not a whole lot that Evil Geniuses can do from this position. It's not easy for them to even leave their base. It's looking like we are rapidly moving to Team Fish Taco getting a 2-0 up against another challenger.
Yeah, there's no way you can leave your base here if you're EGC. All of your inhibitors are gone. You still have a minute left until the mid lane will spawn. That's double supers in every single lane. And now a Baron buff with the Hextech Soul for Team Fish Taco. This Turo Baron buff, I don't even know if it's necessary because that's how far ahead Team Fish Taco are.
As they start moving in, it's all about how Team Fish Taco get the fight started, right? They have lots of tools. Ona has the flash available, and of course, NXI can always just sit it, but corral the minions, bring them all in, and let the Turo Baron buff do its job.
That is exactly what they're doing at the moment, waiting for the minions to crash. Getting a lot of value so far. One of the next turrets down to 50%, getting a little bit of poke on NXI.
Ooh, King.
EGC, you gotta go for the YOLO play. You gotta go for something. It could be on Ona. That's gonna be a lot of damage exploding, but Ryoma, he's actually gonna get blown up by Lunacia instead, adding some chapters to his own book. I didn't even know the Viking could raid, but he's getting a lot of the stacks there, flashing forward at the base of EGC, and we knew this game was gonna be Team Fish Tacos for quite some time. Lunacia's 11-1 to end it all.
We asked the questions at the beginning of the day for Ryoma and Shaden to step up, and they had a couple of moments this game, but it was still on the other side. It was Ona and Rosethorn who trounced them 2 games in a row. The mid-jungle duo from both these teams, so pivotal, and it is the rookie in Ona, the jungler and Rosethorn, who have become the ones to look at. And the Lunacia, again, another player who started off summer not looking nearly as strong as they did. They were the solo kill king of spring, but now coming to Soar, it looks like they are ready to be the team fight king as well.
Seriously, right now, 11-1. I think that was at least two solo kills in that game for Lunacia. So maybe starting to add up the numbers now, just a little bit later into the split. And of course, we'll have to see how everything goes. But we are ready for an interview after a short break. I believe we're bringing on Onat, so make sure you stay tuned.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. I am joined by the victorious Onat of Team Fish Taco. A 2-0 as well. That's got to feel good, brother.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it feels good. It feels good. It's our first one, too, so.
Right. You know, it's your rookie split. You're just getting to the halfway point right now. Once this week concludes, you will be done with the first round robin. So I want to check in. How has your time in LCS Challengers been?
I mean, it's been good, and it's only been getting better. Like, in the beginning, it was a bit overwhelming. Like, in scrims and everything, everyone's egoing me, you know, walking up on the wave, have no respect. But, like, as time goes on and I keep playing amongst this competition, it's felt easier and easier, and the teammates I have around me are really good, too. I think, like, we're heavily underrated. Like, I mean, we did kind of grief week 1, and we had a tough week 2, so our record looked really bad, but I think we're gonna turn that around completely, and we're a strong team.
Is it more they were BMing you early, so now you gotta beat the respect into them? You gotta put respect onto the name Onat, the O Nation?
Yeah, I mean, in my first interview, I said I'm gonna expose these frauds, and I'll be back for another interview, and here I am, you know.
Hey.
We took down all the academy teams.
True.
It feels good.
3 that are there already got wins on them. Given that you're new to the space, where has your development, personally for yourself, been focused? What are you working on currently?
I mean, I have 1v1s all the time. I practice on my laning. Just make sure, like, I know the matchups inside out. So when I play them, I feel confident, because I feel confidence is everything. Like, I've been working more on confidence and outside of the game stuff than, like, as much as the in-game stuff. And we review a lot as a team together since we're all in Chicago together. So our macro has been improving a lot, I think. I think that's about it. Like, a lot of 1v1s though. Making sure my laning is sharp, and I'm trying to be the best laner by the end of the split. That's my goal.
Who have you been practicing the 1v1s with?
I mean, I don't know if they're comfortable with me sharing, but I'll just do it anyways. If they're mad at me, I'm sorry. But like Saligo and Spyrax, I've been 1v1ing a lot. I love those guys. They're really nice to me. Like, I reached out to them and they had nothing to gain from saying yes to a rookie. But I've gotten better quick, and now I'm helping them back, so it feels pretty good.
Hey, that's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah.
On that note, watching a lot of your play, I've seen you attempt some of the most insane engages. Sometimes you miss, it's a flub. But when you hit, good God, it's devastating for some of these team fights. Tell me about your mindset approaching these fights and what makes you so fight hungry.
Well, I mean, we watch LPL the most in this house, so that's that's the energy we got. And I personally believe if you don't full send it and you don't try, then you're not really playing the game. Like I said, I need confidence, and I'm going to use that confidence. If I see an angle, I'm going for it. And if I miss it, if it wasn't a good angle, I'll learn in a review, but that's how you get better too. So I'm not only just playing to win, I'm playing to be the best I can. And I'm learning a lot from these games.
To improve, and it's damn showing, man. It really is. Especially with you and Rosethorn, it's been fun to watch you guys develop on more of a synergistic level when you approach the team fights. I want to know, from your perspective, how you two in particular go about figuring out your game plans.
Well, I mean, a running joke in the house, not really a joke, but we just scream mid jungle. Like, you know, like mid jungle is the heart of the team. So, like, we just permanently play through each other, and we try to get good matchups. And like, we've been friends before this as well. And if he feels like I'm doing something wrong, he tells me, and he's experienced, so I'm learning a lot from him. And I'm usually calling for all that crazy stuff as well. And we just want to take over the game together, and we pick strong stuff to do that. So it's been working.
First split in Soval. You're working it in the right places. You just mentioned about having a house and all that. I know 4 members are there with you in Chicago. How's that environment shaping out?
It's good. It's fun. It's just I'm in the living room, and these guys, like, my PC's in the living room, so these guys can just come like gank me whenever they want, and it's kind of annoying. But we go out to eat dinner together, we review together. It's a great environment. Like, I think it makes everybody really serious. Like, we can't be out here losing, you know? Like, we gotta put everything into it. So it definitely makes us all a lot more serious, for sure.
All right, Onat. Well, to close out your week, you'll be facing Maryville tomorrow and AoE Gold on Monday. Do you have any words for those teams? Any potential words of warning?
I mean, it's just light work. I don't need to BM them, you know? Like, we're gonna get an easy 2-0 tomorrow, and then probably another one the next day. We gotta flip this record around somehow, you know?
I like it. Any shout-outs you got before I let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out my family. I told them I'd get another interview. Sizi çok seviyorum. Anne, baba, abi, Saul. They're very supportive of me, so I just want to shout back at them, but nothing else. Oh, my teammates too. These guys, they're all right.
To your family, the kid's doing well, man. The kid is doing well. Well, that's going to do it for the interview. I want to thank you so much for joining me, Onat, and of course, a shout out to the O Nation. I want to wish you the best of luck in your future games. Make those 2-0s come true, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, well, on that note, we are going to throw it over a short break while we get ready for our second series of the day. Not going to want to miss it. It's Team Liquid Challengers versus Wildcard. We'll be right back.